How do you balance then now? Like, obviously, you're big on social media, you've got a big following, and you're putting out a lot of content. How do you balance that between enjoying the content in which you're putting out, but also feeling like you're a slave to the content? How do you balance social media and trading?
Yeah, um, I definitely I treat social media as a job and I treat running as a passion. So running is like what I want to do, what I'm excited to do and like really look forward to. It's what I'm the most passionate about. And then social media is like it's a job that I enjoy, don't get me wrong. It's not like some sort of chore, but it's definitely something where I'm like, okay, I'm on a schedule and like this is the deadline, whatever. And I need to get it done. And I mean, part of that's driven by like brand deadlines that I have commitments towards, but a lot of it's personal in that I I want to do the best job I can with that part of, my I don't know. I just want to do the best I can with my social media and I enjoy it. And so I'm like I want to, be on a consistent schedule and make sure that it can be successful. Um, and so, yeah, that's kind of the way I think of it. That sometimes social media, like every once in a while, it is a little bit of a chore, but most of the time, I'm just, I'm planning ahead and I have like the schedule that I'm going to complete and I'm able to like come up with ideas and stuff. And I enjoy like the idea side of things and for Instagram. And then for YouTube, I usually focus it around my training. So as long as training's going well, YouTube's pretty easy. It's when like I get injured or something that it gets a little bit harder. But yeah, I like that side of it because YouTube is literally like I usually just show basically my life and that somehow people want to watch that. So yeah. I'm glad they find it entertaining because sometimes in videos I'm like, it is insane. Like my life is so boring.
Yeah.
like train and walk my dog. But like, if people enjoy it, if people watch it, like I'm very happy for that and like I love sharing that with them.
Do you think social media is becoming a more important or even required function of athletes going forward? Because obviously, you see, you're probably on the forefront that you've had quite a big following for quite a while. So that's a really good asset for you to say go to brands with. But do you think now brands are thinking, well, all athletes of a certain level need to have X amount on social media?
Yeah, I think that social media is going to become more and more important. I mean, as a professional athlete, those salaries are coming out of the marketing budget. So, as much as professional athletes want to push against it and say that they're not influencers, I mean, they technically are. Like, their job is to influence people to buy the brand products. There's like, what is your other purpose? Like, you're wearing their stuff to get people to buy it. So, like, I mean, I wouldn't say that they're just influencers because obviously they have a certain job of like running or whatever sport they're in, but the end goal is to influence. And so if if athletes want to grow their social media, then that will be advantageous towards the brand that they're representing. And although a lot of contracts currently don't have that as part of the contract. It's not required. I think that more and more it will be important. Like that will be something that they consider when signing athletes. And I mean, I think for me, like that's something that I think about a lot is like, am I an influencer? Am I a professional runner? I don't know. I think I'm both because I mean, what I said before, all professional athletes are influencers, but for me, some of my contracts are social media based and some of them are athletically based. And I honestly kind of think that that's a nice balance to have. I think that the main companies that are athletically based are like those big shoe or apparel brands. They're the ones that are like, wear our stuff in your races and then we'll pay you. And that's what most athletes have. But I think that's kind of limiting yourself because all these other companies, like some that I work with, like Transparent Labs or Element or um, Koros watches, like they want you to post on social media, and they don't have athletic appearance requirements. They don't have race requirements. But that's like extra ways that an athlete can bring revenue in. And running isn't the most lucrative sport. I think that in general, if athletes are willing to grow their social media, it'll be more lucrative for them. They'll have more brand opportunities. And I think that the negative connotation around influencer is kind of weird because it's basically just saying that you have influence, which is the goal of like a professional athlete from a brand perspective. From a professional athlete's perspective, the goal is just performance. And I agree, like that needs to stay the main focus. And if my social media starts taking away from my training, then it's not advantageous to me anymore. And I would rethink that. But also, you only train so many hours in the day, and it's not really difficult to take the time to post every once in a while and share that with people. So yeah, I think that the line is going to get more and more blurred, but I think that's advantageous for the athletes. It basically just means that we'll have more opportunity for revenue from the sport, which is good because professional runners sometimes are like living below the poverty line. Like the contracts in professional running are not that big. And also there are not nearly as many available as in other sports like basketball or football or tennis or something like that, where you could be the 150th best in the world and still be making hundreds of thousands a year. Like that's not the case for runners. So I think you got to make it work any way you can. And yeah, social media provides another opportunity.
And then speaking of social media and also YouTube, where could people find you if they want to have and listen to this episode?
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm Allie_Ostrander, and then on YouTube, it's just Allie Ostrander. I also post on TikTok, but that's Allie__Ostrander because I had another TikTok, but it got banned. So
How did you get banned?
we don't need to talk about it. But I had never posted a public TikTok and it got banned. I was like, what in the world? Like, I have literally not posted on here because I used it just to like edit videos on, and then it got banned. So yeah, anyways, my other TikTok is Allie__Ostrander. And it is not banned, and I post on there, but it's kind of like my little pet project. So I'm like, I want to see if I can grow a following from 0. So yeah, just broke 1,000 followers the other day. So pretty excited.